Hey, Internet world. Thanks for staying tuned to FIEA's In Development videos. I'm joined today, as always, by Skippy Armstrong. Hey, Brewster. Hales. And Gabe, the Colombian sensation, Vasco. As always, I'm also joined by Tom, the Code Mage Kenny. I'd also like to thank Tom for allowing me to steal a piece of his gum off his desk while he was in programming class today. That's really giving me a pep right now. Thanks, Tom.
Which was a gift to me.
Right, so on to the update. One major addition we've made to the game so far is this idea of characters. If you've been following along, I've had these different colored gummy bears basically as our characters so far, and those are placeholder. So what we've needed to do is really schedule and really pay attention to how we're creating these characters, and also ensure that they all have individual identities. So the art team, the design team, the programming team we're all working together on this. So this is something we're sort of particularly excited about. Dash is our first bar patron that you're going to see in game later, fully animated, fully modeled, fully textured, and with a real personality. So just looking at the screen, you can see these crazy graphs on the left. We'll get into that later. But basically that determines his behavior in the environment. Dash is a little bit of a nip pusher. He's kind of a scaredy cat, party guy. So you'll see that sort of manifest in his behaviors. And here's some concepts, and that's what the model looks like. Here's our progress on Frosty. She's our femme fatale. You guys are definitely going to see her in the next in development update. She's a sexy little thing, and we're really excited to get her in the game pretty soon. Now, as far as what we're doing with the game overall, I said at the last status update that we're really going to have a chance to show you guys the behavior or the desire system that the programmers have been working with. Really excited that we're going to be able to show that off for you. Also, you're going to see some changes to the environment, a more lively environment. You'll notice right off the bat. Hopefully Tom doesn't try and look up the skirts of any of the dancers like he did on Tuesday. But if he does, Internet world, just cover the eyes of any kids that you may have watching. So as far as updates from the leads themselves, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Gabriel, who's going to be talking about our progress with art.
So I have to talk about art progress, but pretty much Brian covered it. We have a new character. Dash is in game. He has animations. Probably you're gonna see that he has Parkinson or something, but that's fixed. As Brian said, he's really like a nip cat, and he's really a party cat. We are tackling down characters as fast as we can. We have a lot of characters, 11 I think, but everything is scheduled. We have a lot of work in the animation department, but we've scheduled that, and we're feeling pretty confident that the designers are going to stick to that schedule, and they're not going to overscope and just be crazy about animations. The environment changed. We're fixing the lights. We are working on the POIs, and everything is coming along. Now it's definitely not about a gay bar. We have Frosty, we have dancers, we have secret girls, and maybe if we have some external help, we'll have some other female. I think that's about it for art. We'll have characters for you next week too, so keep tuned.
Alright guys, I gotta get closer to the microphone. Alright, this is Skippy from the Scope Bomb, aka Design Department of Lives Til Midnight. I'm going to show you one of the things that we've currently been working on, which is this puzzle involving the bar. Now, the bar has a bartender right here, which is the green S is Shifty, and then there's also the purple W, which is the waitress. There's this triangle right here which represents the tray that has drinks on it, and the waitress wants to serve drinks to people at the tables, but she needs at least 3 drinks at this triangle in order to go and do anything. So as we run the simulation, we'll see that everybody has desires and they want to do stuff. Well, Shifty comes over, makes a drink for the waitress, goes to the tray, she gets it, and starts to serve them around to people. And as she's gone, their desires keep going off, people are moving around. She comes back around, grabs more drinks, serves them to more people, and the cycle continues. We're trying to set up a puzzle involving Crumbs, this blue dude, who he has a crush on the waitress. So when she's sitting there waiting for drinks, like in this case, for example, if she didn't have any, she would sit there and wait, and he would come out and talk to her, providing the player with an opportunity to eavesdrop. We're talking about using a series of puzzles like this, in addition with dialogue and animations to tell the story of the bar. So I guess I'm gonna pass it off to Bruce.
All right, do you think we're gonna go in game? Yeah. The design team and the programming team are working pretty closely now. We've collaborated a lot on sort of just setting up the desire system and how that's going to, guide all NPC actions. So NPCs have desires to be entertained, they have desires to smoke, they have desires to drink, and there's things in the environment, there's points of interest that advertise that they can satisfy these desires. So the bar, the bar might satisfy your desire to be entertained or your desire to drink. The stage might satisfy your desire to be entertained. So what we're trying to do is set up this system so that you can basically tell an NPC that he doesn't like to smoke or he does like to smoke a lot. And that's sort of what you saw with the fuzzy logic graphs, the graphs that we had on the character page. What Tom's doing is he's sort of telling Bruiser that he has a high desire to socialize right now. At the bar you'll see Shifty, he's going back and forth in the bar, basically serving drinks over and over and over again to Bruiser. It looks kind of silly, but that's sort of just an artifact of how we set it up. Right now, Bruiser gets very, very, very little satisfaction from the drink. But yeah, after getting about 20 of them, that was enough for him to to go away. And now he walks over to the table because he just wants to socialize now, and the table is very good for socializing. You'll see Dottie over there on the other side. She's getting a drink from the bar and bringing it back to the table. Because whenever there's patrons at a table, they're also asking for drinks. Yeah. So are we gonna?
Yeah, we want to send some people to the bar.
Yeah. Yeah. So the basic puzzle that we want to try to set up here is we want to get Dottie standing at the bar for a long amount of time. So one way to do that is to basically have the bartender preoccupied serving the drinks to the patrons that are at the bar, because for the bartender it's higher priority for him to sort of serve the regular patrons than it is for him to prepare the drink for the waitress to bring it to the tables. So when we get enough guys here just at the bar, the waitress is just going to be waiting over there on the other side when she goes back for a drink, but she's never going to get the drink until the bartender is free of people at the bar. And in the PowerPoint Skippy was showing, Crumbs would come out here and Crumbs would talk to Dottie, and that would give you an opportunity to eavesdrop. Right now, Crumbs doesn't actually come out here unless we sort of tell him that he has a high desire for piss or something like that. Yeah. So that's about it, unless Tom wants to show you something interesting.
Dancers. Yeah, the dancers.
We're talking about doing something different with the stage. We're going to put a comedian up there who's going to be telling jokes. And depending on how many times that you clap or cheer for the comedian, he'll become more entertaining because people around the audience will be interested in what's going on and why there's so much cheering going on. So the dancers are kind of just a placeholder, a hysterical placeholder.
So in the environment right now, you might notice that the lighting is a little bit off from where we were at with our last in-development update. As Gabriel mentioned, this is something we just sort of had so that we could make the necessary geometric changes to our environment. There's Dash just behind Tom right there. You guys saw him walking around. We really like his walk cycle. He's got a little bit of a strut going there. And that's the kind of cool cat that you can expect to see more of from the art team. They're doing a phenomenal job sort of bringing these characters, bringing this environment to life. For our next update, you're going to see the next iteration of this desire system. Again, this is just the backdrop of what allows players to play the room. Pretty soon, you're going to see player actions where we can directly influence what's happening in the room. And that's really where the puzzles and where the fun factor from our game is going to come from. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you then.